we didn't have enough kids to do the entire play without me playing a role, but we really felt strongly about doing this play, and we didn't want to switch. We didn't want to choose another play, and the kids immediately were attached to doing this piece because it's so resonant now. It's a really important play for this country and where we are in history. And after the events this summer, we felt it was even more important to put this play on. And hopefully at some point in the next years we can put it on the main stage as a full production. So it's pretty ambitious for meeting once a week, which is why you'll see us on stage with our scripts. So you'll forgive us that we haven't memorized it, but we've put a lot of work into it, and it's brought a lot of really fruitful discussions. We have Logan Silbert in the light booth who has devoted their time to coming in and doing lights for us. We hope, for those of you who were here last year, we promise that no glass will be broken during this production. You'll notice that we are using tin, and so we won't have to pause and clean up any broken glass. And we'll fill you in on the joke later on if you weren't here last time. So here we go. Diary of my old friend. Thank you.
Are you all right, Mr. Frank?
Yes, Meep. Yes.
Everyone in the office has gone home. It's after 6. Don't stay up here, Mr. Frank. What's the use of torturing yourself like this?
Come to say goodbye, Meep. I'm leaving here.
What do you mean? Where are you going? Where?
I don't know yet. I haven't decided.
Mr. Frank, you can't leave here. This is your home. Amsterdam is your home. Your business is here, waiting for you. You're needed here. Now that the war is over, there are things that...
I can't stay in Amsterdam, Meep. It's too many memories for me. Everywhere. There's something. The house we lived in, the school, that street organ playing out there. I'm not the person I used to be. I'm a bitter old man. I shouldn't speak to you like this. After all you've done for us, the suffering.
No, it wasn't suffering. You can't say we suffered.
I know what you went through. You and Mr. Crawler. I'll remember it as long as I live. Come, Meep.
Mr. Frank, did you see? There are some of your papers here. We found them in a heap of rubbish on the floor after...
Burn them.
After you left.
Burn them.
But Mr. Frank, there are letters, notes.
Burn them all.
Burn this?
Anne's diary. Monday, the 6th of July, 1942. 1942? Is it possible, Meep? Only 3 years ago. Dear Diary, since you and I are going to be great friends, I will start by telling you about myself. My name is Anne Frank. I'm 13 years old. I was born in Germany the 12th of June, 1929. As my family is Jewish, we emigrated to Holland when Hitler came to power. My father started a business importing spice and herbs. Things went well for a while until 1942. Then the war came and the Dutch capitulation, followed by the arrival of the Germans. Then things got bad for the Jews.
You could not do this, and you could not do that. They forced Father out of his business. We had to wear yellow stars. I had to turn on my bike. I couldn't go to a Dutch school anymore. I couldn't go to the movies or ride in an automobile or even on a streetcar and a million other things. But somehow, we children still managed to have fun. Yesterday, Father told me we were going into hiding. Where? He wouldn't say. At 5 o'clock this morning, Mother told me to hurry and get dressed. I was to put on as many clothes as I could. It would look too suspicious if we walked along carrying suitcases. It wasn't until we were on our way that I learned where we were going. Our hiding place was to be upstairs in the building where Father used to have his business. 3 other people were coming in with us, the Von Dons and their son Peter. Father knew the Von Dons, but we had never met them.
Something's happened to them. I know it.
Now, Curly.
Mr. Frank said they'd be here at 7 o'clock. He said
They have
that.
2 miles to walk. You can't expect.
They've been taken. That's what's happened. They've been taken.
You see?
Mr. and Mrs. Von Don. Peter? There were too many of the green police on the streets. We had to take the long way around. my wife, Edith, Mr. and Mrs. Von Don, their son, Peter, my daughters, Margot and Anne.
I'm sorry there's still so much confusion.
Please don't think of it. After all, we have plenty of leisure to arrange everything ourselves.
We put the stores of food you sent in here. Your drugs are here, soap, linen here.
Thank you, Neve.
I made up the beds, the way Mr. Frank and Mr. Collar said. Forgive me, I have to hurry. I've got to go to the other side of town to get some ration books for you.
Ration books? If they see our names on the ration books, they'll know we're here.
Don't worry, your names won't be on them. I'll be up later.
It's illegal then, the ration books. We've never done anything illegal.
We won't be living here exactly according to regulations.
This isn't the black market, Mrs. Frank. This is what we call the white market, helping all of the hundreds and hundreds who are hiding out in Amsterdam. I must go. I must be out of here and downstairs in the office before the workmen get here. I will be up each day to bring you food and news and find out what your needs are. Tomorrow I'll get you a better bolt for the door at the foot of the stairs. It needs a bolt that you can throw yourself and open only at our signal. Oh, you'll tell them about the noise?
I'll tell them.
It's a wonder we weren't arrested. Walking along the streets, Petronella with her fur coat in July, and Peter's cat crying all the way.
A cat?
Now, about the noise. While the men are in the building below, we must have complete quiet. Every sound can be heard there, not only in the workroom, but in the offices too. The men come at about 8:30 and leave at about 5:30, so to be perfectly safe, from 8 in the morning until 6 in the evening, we must move only when it is necessary, and then in stockinged feet. We must not speak above a whisper. We must not run water. We cannot use the sink or even, forgive me, the WC. The pipes go down through the workrooms. It would be heard. This is the way we must live until it is over, if we are to survive.
Until it is over.
After 6, we can move about, we can talk and laugh and have our supper and read and play games. Mrs. Van Daan, you and your husband will be upstairs. I regret that there is no place up there for Peter, but he will be here near us. This will be our common room where we will meet to talk and eat and read like one family.
And where do you and Mrs. Frank sleep?
This is also our bedroom.
It's
That
your
isn't
place.
right. We'll sleep here and you take the upstairs. Never, never can we thank you. And I don't know what would have happened to us if it hadn't been for Mr. Frank.
You don't know how your husband helped me when I came to this country, knowing no one, not able to speak the language. I can never repay him for that. You two must have some rest. Edith, you didn't close your eyes last night. Now are you, Margot?
I slept, Father. Wasn't that funny? I knew it was the last night in my own bed, and yet I slept soundly.
I'm glad, Anne. Now you'll be able to help me straighten things out here. Come with me. You and Margot rest in this room for the time being.
You're sure? I could help it. Anne hasn't had her milk.
I'll give it to her. And Peter, it's best that you take off your shoes now, and Anne too, before you forget.
You're sure you're not tired, Anne?
I feel fine. I'm going to help Father.
Peter, I'm glad you are to be with us.
Yes, Mrs. Frank.
What's your cat's name?
Mousy.
Mashy, Mashy, Mashy. I love cats. I have one, a darling little cat. They made me leave her behind. I left some food and a note for the neighbors. I'm going to miss her terribly. What's yours, a him or a her?
He's a Tom, and he doesn't like strangers.
Well, then I'll have to stop becoming a stranger now, won't I? Where'd you go to school?
Jewish secondary.
But that's where Margot and I go. I never saw you around.
I used to see you, sometimes.
You did?
In the schoolyard. You're always in the middle of a bunch of kids.
Why didn't you ever come over?
I'm sort of a lone wolf.
What are you doing?
Taking off.
But you can't do that. They'll arrest you if you go out without your star.
Who's going out?
Why, of course, you're right. Of course we don't need them anymore. I wonder what our friends will think when we don't show up today.
I didn't have dates with anyone.
Oh, I did. I did a date with Jopie to go and play ping pong at her house. Do you know Jopie DeWall?
No.
Jopie's my best friend. I wonder what she'll think when she telephones and there's no answer. Probably she'll go over to the house. I wonder what she'll think. We left everything as if we'd suddenly been called away. Breakfast dishes in the sink. Bed's not made. What are you going to do with yours?
Burn it.
It's funny. I can't throw mine away. I don't know why.
You can't throw something they branded you with? They made you wear so they could spit on you?
I know. But after all, it is the Star of David, isn't it?
Maybe it's different for a girl.
And here is your room, Peter. But I warn you, you can't grow any more, not an inch, or you'll have to sleep with your feet out of the skylight. Are you hungry?
No.
We have some bread and butter.
No, thank you.
You can have it for lunch and then. And tonight we will have a real supper, our first supper together.
Thanks. Thanks.
That's a nice boy, Peter.
He's awfully shy, isn't he?
You'll like him, I know.
I certainly hope so, since he's the only boy I'm likely to see for months and months.
Angela, there's a box there. Will you open it?
You know the way I'm going to think of it here? I'm going to think of it as a boarding house. A very peculiar summer boarding house, like the one that we... Father! My movie stars! I was looking for them this morning. I was wondering where they were. And Queen Wilhelmina, how wonderful!
There's something more. Go on, look further.
A diary. I've never had a diary. I've always longed for one. Pencil, 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 pencil. I'm going down to the office to get a pencil.
No, Anne, no.
But there's no one in the building now.
It doesn't matter. I don't want you to ever go beyond that door.
Never? Not even at nighttime when everyone is gone? Or on Sundays? Can I go down to listen to the radio?
Never. I'm sorry, Annika. It isn't safe. You must never go beyond the door.
I see. I expect I should be describing what it feels like to go into hiding, but I really don't know yet myself. I only know it's funny never to be able to go outdoors, never to breathe fresh air, never to run and shout and jump. It's the silence in the nights that frightens me the most. Every time I hear a creak in the house or a step on the street outside, I'm sure they're coming for us. The days aren't so bad. At least we know that Meep and Mr. Crawler are down in the office below us. Our protectors, we call them. I asked Father what would happen to them if the Nazis were to find out they were hiding us. Pim said they would suffer the same fate we would. Imagine. They know this, and yet when they come up here, they're always cheerful and gay, as if there was nothing in the world to bother them. Friday, the 21st of August, 1942. Today I'm going to tell you our general news. Mother is unbearable. She insists on treating me like a baby, which I loathe. Otherwise, things are going better. The weather is...
The last workmen have gone.
Peter, where are you going? Come dance with me.
I tell you, I don't know how.
I'll teach you.
I'm going to give Moushie his dinner.
Oh, well, can I watch?
He doesn't like people around when he eats.
Peter, please.
No!
Anne, dear, I think you shouldn't play like that with Peter. It's not dignified.
Who cares if it's dignified? I don't want to be dignified.
You complain that I don't treat you like a grown-up, but when I do, you resent it.
I only want some fun, someone to laugh and clown with. After you sat still all day and hardly moved, you've got to have some fun. I don't know what's the matter with that boy.
He isn't used to girls. Give him a little time.
I wonder where Meep is. She's usually so prompt. Anne, dear, your hair. You're warm. Are you feeling all right?
Please, Mother.
You haven't a fever, have you?
No.
You know we can't call a doctor here ever. There's only one thing to do. Prevent an illness before it comes. Let me see your tongue.
Mother, this is perfectly absurd.
Anne, dear, don't be such a baby. Let me see your tongue. Come on, open up. You seem all right, but perhaps an aspirin.
For heaven's sake, don't give that child any pills. I waited for 15 minutes this morning for her to get at the WC.
I was washing my hair.
Meep not come yet?
Workman just left a little while ago.
What's for dinner tonight?
Beans.
Not again.
Poor Pretty, I know, but that's all Meep brought us.
We are now in what is known as the bean cycle. Beans boiled, beans in casserole, beans with strings, beans without strings.
I saw you in there. Playing with your cat.
He was just in there for a little bit. He put his coat away. He's been out here all the time doing his lessons.
Mrs. Von Don, may I try on your coat?
No, Anne. It's all right, but be careful with it. My father bought me that the year before he died. He always bought the best money could buy.
Mrs. Von Don, did you have a lot of boyfriends before you were married?
Anne, that's a personal question.
question. It's not courteous to ask personal questions.
Oh, I don't mind. Our house was always swarming with boys. And when I was a girl, we had...
Oh no, not again.
Oh, shut up. One summer, we had a huge house in Fieldston. The boys came buzzing around like bees in a jam pot. And when I was 16, we were wearing our short skirts very short those days. And I had good-looking legs. I mean, I still have them. I may not be as pretty as I used to be, but I still got my legs. How about it, Mr. Frank?
All right, we see them.
I'm not asking you. I'm asking Mr. Frank.
Mother, for heaven's sake.
Shh, I can hear a man's voice talking.
Isn't it bad enough here without you sprawling all over the place?
If you didn't smoke so much, you wouldn't be so bad-tempered.
Am I smoking? Do you see me smoking?
Don't tell me you used up all those cigarettes.
One package. Meep only brought me one package.
It's a filthy habit anyways. It's time for you to break
Oh,
yourself.
stop it, please.
You're smoking up all our money. You know that, don't you?
Will you shut up? And what are you staring at?
I never heard grown-ups quarrel before. I thought only children quarreled.
This isn't a quarrel, and it's a discussion. And I've never heard children so rude before.
I rude.
Yes.
Anne, will you get me my knitting? I must remember when Meep comes to ask her to bring me some more wool.
I need some hairpins and some soap. I made a list.
Have you some library books for Meep when she comes?
It's a wonder that Meep has a life of her own, the way we make her run errands for us. Please, Meep, get me some starch. Please take my hair out and have it cut. Tell me all the latest news, Meep. Did you know Meep was engaged? His name's Dirk, and Meep's afraid the Nazis will ship him off to Germany to work in one of their war plants. That's what they're doing with some of the young Dutchmen. They pick them up off the streets and...
Do you ever just get tired of talking? Suppose you try to keep me still for 5 minutes. Just 5 minutes.
Come here, Anne. It's time for your glass of milk.
Talk, talk, talk. I've never heard such a child. Where is mine? Every evening it's the same. Talk, talk, talk. Where is mine?
What are you looking for?
My pipe. Have you seen my pipe?
What good's a pipe? You ain't got any tobacco.
At least I have something to hold my mouth. Margot, have you seen my pipe?
It was on the table last night.
I know. Anne, did you see my pipe? Anne!
Anne, Mr. Van Daan is speaking to you.
You're the most aggravating. The trouble with you is you've been spoiled. What you need is a good old-fashioned spanking. Why aren't you nice and quiet like your sister Margot? Why do you always have to show off all the time? Let me give you a little advice, young lady. A man doesn't like that in a girl. A man likes a girl who will do the... Men don't like that kind of thing in a girl. You know what? A man likes a girl who will listen to him once in a while. A domestic girl who will keep her house shining for her husband, who loves to cook and sew and...
I'd cut my throat first. I'd open my veins. I'm going to be remarkable. I'm going to Paris
Paris.
to study music and art.
Yeah.
I'm going to be a famous actor, or singer, or dancer, or something wonderful.
Now look what you've done! You clumsy little fool! My beautiful fur coat my father gave me.
I'm so sorry.
What do you care? It isn't even yours, so go on, ruin it. Do you know what this coat cost? Do you?
I'm very, very sorry.
I could kill you for this. I could just kill you.
But you know, life, you come back. To suffer, come back.
Anne, you must not behave in that way.
It was an accident. Anyone can have an accident.
I don't mean that. I mean the answering back. You must not answer back. They are our guests. We must always show the greatest courtesy to them. We're all living under terrible tension. That's why we must control ourselves. You don't hear Margot getting into arguments with them, do you? Watch Margot. She's always courteous with them, never familiar. She keeps her distance, and they respect her for it. Try to be like Margot.
And have them walk all over me the way they do her? No thanks.
I'm not afraid that anyone is going to walk all over you, Anne. I'm afraid for other people, that you'll walk on them. I don't know what happens to you. You're wild, self-willed. If I had ever talked to my mother the way you talk to
Things
me...
have changed. People aren't like that anymore. Yes, mother. No, mother. Anything you say, mother. I've got to fight things out for myself. Make something of myself.
It isn't necessary to fight to do it. Margot doesn't fight it.
Margot. That's all I hear from everyone, how wonderful Margot is. Why aren't you like Margot?
Oh, come on, Anne. Don't be so...
Everything she does is right, and everything I do is wrong. I'm the goat around here. You're all against me, and you worst of all.
Let's put the soup on the stove if there's anyone who cares to eat. Margot, will you take the bread out?
You know, Anne, in half an hour she'll be out here laughing and joking.
Yes, and I told your father it wouldn't work. But no, he had to ask them. He said he owed it to them, he said. Well, he knows now that I was right. These quarrels, this bickering. Every time I hear that sound, my heart stops.
It's me.